Hey folks, I haven't done this in a while. I used to speak a lot at events and stuff, but I haven't done it in a long, long time. Anyways, I'm Harjit Dhaliwal. I think quite a few know me already. We've been friends for a long time. Former Microsoftie, now with Robopack. I am the director of community and events. Basically, I evangelize for Robopack and manage events and things like that, and support the community. Right. With that, this is.
I'm Mason Graves. I'm an account executive for Robopack, open operations stateside here. Robopack is based in Copenhagen, Denmark. That's where our HQ is at, but we have opened up operations here stateside about 10 months ago when I started, and it's been going very well ever since.
Yeah, so Mason's the first US or North American employee. So he started, and then I started a few months after that, and then, well, we have another colleague, and the team is just building from there. But most of our team is actually in Denmark, right? We're a Danish company. So what is Robopack, right? Robopack is, it's an automated packaging and patching solution that integrates with Intune, seamlessly with Intune. That's what it's all about, right? So we just have a few slides, but mostly Mason's going to do the hands-on demo. You're going to see how the solution works and how click around in the product, and you'll get a better feel of it, right? But I just want to go through a few slides here. Intune, how many is everyone here using Intune? Right. Okay. Right? I mean, I came from the config manager era. I was config manager admin for 20 years, loved it. I was like die hard, and you told me to get rid of it, I'll be like, I'm coming with a machete and chopping your head off. So I was a real diehard, and then when I joined Microsoft and I started doing, I was already doing Intune, a little bit before that. And when I was a customer engineer, talking to customers and stuff like that, I'm like, oh my God, Intune is just so much simpler to manage your endpoints and things like that. Like config manager, there's so many, different bells and whistles, right? You gotta have your SQL, your management points, this and that and everything. If there's a little blip in one of those things, you're like, what broke, right? So anyways, but then applications, right? You can do a lot of things with Intune, obviously, but applications, it's not as simple as it is, right? You gotta convert your apps, Win 32 apps, and you can do your MSIs and things like that. But you also have to know all your detection methods and all that fun stuff, right? All the things that you need to do, location and things like that. Robopack makes it so simple. It just does it all for you. Okay. Integrates with Intune, as I said, and also reduces risk and stuff, right? As you're patching manually, you can make mistakes, right? Either you don't have a slash or a dash or a silent switch and things like that, and then you're wondering why it's not installing on your devices, stuff like that. Good. If I jump in anytime.
No, you're good.
Okay. Yeah. So these are basically like the three pillars that we do with Robopack. We help migrate applications from whether it's config manager or legacy third-party solutions out there. There's so many out there, right? From many years ago, and some people are still using it. They're trying to get to Intune, and one of the things that we hear a lot from our customers is that we want to go to Intune, but we have all our apps in config manager or something, and we don't want to rebuild them one by one. That would take them forever, right? So we have a solution that seamlessly brings your applications over, pulls it in, and then pushes it out into Intune. Voila, you're there. So we got that. We help package applications. So MSIs, EXEs, PowerShell scripts, things like that, into an Intune Win format, right? What we use is actually we're wrapping these things with PSADT. So we're using PSADT behind the scenes. You can do a lot of your customizations, and he'll show you in a little bit there. And then we patch. So not only that we package applications for you so you can push it out and have your users install them whatsoever, but you also have to make sure your applications are being, are secured and patched all the time. We know, right? Every other day there's a vulnerability somewhere. And then there'll be like a Firefox or a Google Chrome or something like that. You're like, damn, we gotta push. So it's not just important enough just to deploy, but you gotta maintain that. And we do that automatically for you. Yep, migration, we already talked about that. PSADT, I mentioned that. Yes, it is to package your applications, it's very simple. It's basically a drag and drop. You drag and drop, it starts, he's gonna show you, but it starts doing all the detections that it needs to do. We actually, run malware, scans and a bunch of other security scans that we do to make sure that those applications are vetted. And we actually install them in our own VMs, right? You spin up a VM, install it, it does all the things, and then it also uninstalls. So to make sure that it can uninstall, it gives you all the switches and stuff. Hey, DJ.
Hey, call me out because I'm late.
And then the other thing that is, yep.
For that uninstall and that install and uninstall testing, do you also test an upgrade from a previous version?
Yes, we do.
Oh,
Yes.
And
And it gives you a report as well, where it'll give you everything that the application did. So for example, if you're an Intune admin, you're the app packaging person, but you need to get sign off from your security team, you can provide that list, that report to your security team and say, hey, I want to push this application out. This is what it does. This is the DLLs it's putting in the system. This is the registry keys. This is this, and this is all that stuff. It's very, very detailed. So a lot of our customers love it because apparently no other company is doing that for that. Okay. Yeah, and we actually have over 40,000 applications. I think, what was it? Latest count is,
I think latest count was like 44,000 and some change.
Yeah.
They're adding like 500 a month into the catalog. Of course, nobody needs 44,000
Yeah,
applications, but there are a plethora of them out there.
yeah. So we use Winget and the Microsoft Store, but you don't have to use it, right? We get the binaries from those sources. We do the testing, we do the packaging, and voila. So that's one thing that our customers love as well, because a lot of them block Microsoft Store and Winget in their environments. They don't let them go out. You don't have to, right? Because we're doing it for you. Did I miss anything else? No.
And then just over.
Yeah. And so basically we cover all spectrums of the industry out there, whether it's enterprise, large enterprise customers, and we have very large customers, or very small customers. You can have 200 devices. We're happy to support you. MSPs, they love it because they are managing multiple tenants and things like that. If you have multiple tenants, Robopack supports that as well. Because inside of Robopack, you can pick and you create your applications once, but then you can pick and choose all your tenants that you want to push them out to. So you don't have to recreate them over and over like that. Okay. And the other thing that we do for the community, in support of the community, is that if there's any customer that has 100 or less devices, we offer that for free, give it to you for free. And what was it? Nonprofits, NGOs, things like that. So, they don't have a lot of, they don't have the budget and things like that, right? So we give it to you for free. So not a lot of support, but hey, we get you started. You can use it. At least you can, you got 30 people in your organization. Sure, there you go.
Does that include like personal like usages of that, or is that only like businesses with less than 100 devices?
Personal as well. We can set up lab accounts, if you want to get in there and test it out, or
Yeah.
have a few devices at home that you're working with, your own tenant.
Mhm.
I'm happy to get you set up with it. No problem. You just offer it straight anybody can run it. That what you got?
Yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna actually show the product itself, what Robopack looks like in action and how it's going to help save you time and help you, with the packaging and the applications and such. But from the very beginning, we can set up a trial account for anybody that, wants to try it out. Super simple. All we do is log in with Entra ID. You'll go through, you'll accept from some of the permissions, and you will be inside of Robopack. Through here, we have our permissions list. We have a nice detailed support page that goes through all of the permissions that you'll have to accept, your different role-based access. Everything's through Entra, so we try to just leave it that way to have it more secure on the back end. But once you're inside of Robopack, this is what it looks like. And the first place that we get started is going into our settings and our tenants. As Harjit mentioned, we are multi-tenant, so you can connect as many tenants as you'd like. We have 3 in here, and they're all absolute disasters, as you'll see through this demo. But they, so we have 3 in there, and we can speak to all of them at the same time. But as simple as connect tenant, your accept permissions, you're up and running. You have Robopack, and it's good to go. We're a lightweight SaaS app or a lightweight SaaS solution. We have no agents on any endpoints or anything like that. We're built for scalability and just ease at size. As we mentioned, we have 3 really main pillars of what Robopack looks like. I mentioned earlier our 44,000 instant applications in there from all your Adobes and Googles and FileZillas and anything you're looking for. We want just to be able to search it and go.
I don't know if you can zoom it in just a little bit, just squinting from the back here.
And quick question on the multi-tenancy. Does it, with B2B, you connect to all the tenants? What do you use when you are supporting multiple tenants? Or individual tenants?
So
Okay.
you are trying to sign into each tenant. Once you have them in there, you're using whatever your
Okay.
credentials are for those tenants.
Okay. The reason I was asking, Microsoft started multi-tenancy, like with B2B access, you can connect to multiple tenants. Maybe I was wondering if that would help with one login, you would be able to add multiple tenants if they are part of that.
So I don't think we do that, right?
I don't think.
No.
Okay, it's individual accounts you will need for, okay, but you will have a single view for all.
I think it'll be for all.
Okay, makes sense.
Better? Great, thanks.
So let's see here.
But we lost the site.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, like that, okay.
Perfect. So once you're connected, there's a few pillars that I mentioned here. We have our 44,000 instant app repository that you can go search, grab applications very simply. We have a Robopack radar, which will actually scan your Intune tenant. It'll tell you kind of where you're at a baseline level. I'll show that live and active. And then really the heart and soul of Robopack is the convert package button here. Ronnie, our founder, he was a packager for 25 years. He was going through all the struggles that a lot of you guys currently go through, and he put in 4 years of hard work to create this right here. This is his brainchild, and what essentially you can do is, drop in EXDs, MSIs, PowerShells, those sorts of things, and we're able to package them, wrap them in PS80T, go through our 26-step smoke test, run it through our VM, find all the stuff for you, wrap it, and have it ready to go into Intune. The place I like to start first, though, is at Instant Apps. So when we grab an app, let's just go, let's find something from Adobe. Let's go Adobe Air. I don't know if I've done this one. So we need Adobe Air. We have the latest version, of course, right here. Choose any of the previous versions you'd like. We can always roll back to any version that you'd want at any time. But from here, I found it in the app repository. I can see that we can see where it's sourced from. We just click quick analyze and build. Again, as I mentioned, we wrap everything in PS80T. We have the latest versions there. Other scripts that we can do, but I'll get into that in a minute. We can do a quick import to Intune as well as create your assignment there for you if you'd like. However, for this example, I'm just going to go ahead and import the application. So I am grabbing the application from the source here. We're pulling it in. It's doing the whole analyzing and testing. It's spinning up our VM. It's going through our smoke test. It's doing the install, the uninstall. It's going to have it all ready to go packaged and ready to go here for us to have a few options.
What's the spinning wheel that we got?
So Ronnie's big running thing is for you, it's a spinning wheel, but for him, it was the 4 years of hard work that he's put into it. So it's, hopefully we're able to.
So this is what it's doing, right? It's spinning a VM in our environment, right? It's installing it, trying to get all the information. And then it's also doing the uninstall, and then they'll say it's ready for you to go. And then they'll give you a report.
So if the app is already in the repository, what's the spinning up the app and checking all this? I would assume in the repository that's already happened.
Because we're getting the binaries from WinGet, right? It's not in the repository yet. See what I'm saying?
I see.
Yeah.
So you just have, you've got your app catalog.
Yes.
That's not necessarily been packaged.
Correct.
Got it.
So when we're pulling it in, then we're doing our 26-step smoke test. It's running through all the security features, and here it is in, I grabbed a different one, Adobe Connect. It was here in Robopack, ready to go. So we have a few options from here. An import to Intune, it's just one click of a button. We can grab it. You can select whatever tenant you'd like to put it inside of. We'll go from there. There's a few options. We'll have all the, the section rule. We'll give you the description. It'll tell you the developer was Robopack. We'll have the icon built right into Intune as well. And we'll go down and continue. So we'll start the import. So now we grabbed it from the source. We're now pushing it up into Intune, but better than that, we want to give it some options to, get it deployed.
Show the documentation.
I'll show them when I do it. I'm setting. If we set up a Robopatch flow for this, flows for Robopack are essentially like Microsoft update rings for business. We run it very similar to the rings there. We just call them deployment waves. So for Adobe Connect, if we're grabbing this from the store, we're pulling it in. I'm going to set a wave here to kick it off. What that's going to be for us is usually a pilot test group. And so inside of this, I will go grab, we'll go inside of our dev tenant. So our internal IP group. Our internal IP group has 10 devices inside of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this application to that group. And of course, everything inside of Intune that you're messing around with, we can do right here. But we're also going to set a little success criteria for this wave deployment. What that looks like is I'm going to set it to an 80% response rate. So 8 out of 10 machines that are going to respond to this. Of those 8, I need 100% success rate before I feel comfortable hopping over to wave 2. So what it's going to do is going to send it into an internal IP. It's going to follow the success criteria. Once it does that, it'll immediately hop over to wave 2 here. Wave 2, if it's a simple app, it could just be a broad deployment. So we'll just make it a broad deploy. We'll grab some existing groups. Let me just make it available in the company portal for all users across 3 different tenants. So Adobe, we grabbed it there. We ran it through our test group here. Once it meets that success criteria, it immediately jump over to that broad deployment. Now it's available for anybody that would like to grab it across these 3 tenants. Every new version of Adobe Connect that comes out will be scanning the repository, and every 30 minutes, if it sees that there's a new version, it'll immediately kick off your groups here. So we're not just deploying the application once, we're keeping it updated throughout its life cycle.
And you can create as many of these waves you want, right? You can be like your small five-person IT team, and then next wave is like a broader IT team, and then another one, app testers, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, we don't tell you how to do it. We just give you the option to do it. We have some, for those advanced apps, you're going to run it through a test. Maybe you want to test it again, or maybe you want to run it in a test environment before pushing it out to your next one. But I also want to send it to some techies here, maybe so they can check it out. And then I'll feel happy about pushing it to broad deployment. So it gives you the freedom and options to choose how you like. We also have this little peace of mind button, I call it. It's radar tracking. It's built right into the product. You can make this automatic or manual or disable it completely. But essentially what this is going to do is when Adobe Connect is going through these groups that I'm targeting, if radar tracking is scanning the Intune tenant, if it finds it on any other device anywhere else, it'll make its own group and automatically patch it to the latest version. So you can have it automatically do that. You can also have it set to manual to send you a Teams message or an email and say, hey, I know you're targeting these groups, but we also found Adobe Connect over here. Would you like it up to the latest version? So I always call it the peace of mind button because it's just, even if you're not targeting it, you can still find it. From there, we'll start the deployment.
Right, you guys get that, right? So basically what he was showing you is with this waves, you're pushing out an application, right? You're deploying an application, okay, fine. But then you got other people may have already installed this, but they have the older version, and you're like, oh, wait, I just pushed out a new one. We need to get these guys up. So that's what the radar tracking is all about.
And then we're able to start the deployment. So now it'll start the deployment. It'll automatically have radar tracking enabled. It's going to run into that test group. Once it hits my success criteria down there, it'll go from there. And as I mentioned, any new versions that appear will be there and ready to go. Is there any questions on setting up a Robopatch flow for a singular app?
Yes.
Are there ways to copy that wave structure to another app? So like if you have a bulk set of apps, you need to have that similar rather than having to manually check that.
That's a fantastic question. It leads me right to my next point of patch groups. So patch flows were for individual apps, but of course, you know, the development team, they're going to get all the same set of applications. I don't need to set up 10 wave flows for the 10 different applications I have here. What we did, we ran it through an IT computers. We ran it right to our developers, set our success criteria, grabbed whatever applications we want, whether searching the instant app repository for them, or you can just do an import from the radar scan, which I'll show you in a second. But essentially, you can set all of these applications up in one, run the wave flow, and they will all act individually. But instead of setting up 10 individual ones, you have it all. Any other questions on this so far?
Nothing online, right? You guys monitoring online chat? Nothing online, okay.
So that's grabbing an app from the Instant App repository. Our radar scan, this is a pretty neat feature that we have in here. Got to choose a tenant that works. But after your tenants are connected, you can just select whichever one you'd like. It's going to scan your tenant and it's going to show you all of your Intune applications that are in there, but not just your Intune apps, your discovered apps as well. As you know, inside of Intune, it is.
Yeah, you see on the right-hand side where it says Intune app or discovered, right? So Intune app is what you have deployed via Intune. And then discovered is just getting the discovery information from Intune or all the shadow IT kind of installations out there, right? Because you never know what your end users are installing.
Yeah.
So it'll tell you like, hey, you got these that we discovered and there's so many X number of those out there. And do you want to patch it and stuff like that?
Yeah, it'll show you the discovered list. I always call it the to-do list. All those apps are going to need packaged and up to date, or they're going to need to be, taken off, bloatware, things like that. It's part of the reason we have 44,000 apps. There's things like Candy Crush and Xbox in there because, people download them on work computers and we can uninstall them. The same way you'd set an install command, you can set the uninstall
Yeah,
for.
you only see want to do that with, it's just our test.
Yeah.
Demo environment.
Yeah, this is our demo environment, so it's pretty clean, but you can see who downloaded, the things at any point where it was discovered, and then you'll also see your Intune applications. We can commandeer all these applications, set them into one wave patch group that we already made, and have them all updated through the setup we had. We can also grab them individually. So if, let's grab FileZilla here, we'll just add it to a patch flow. We're gonna set up a little criteria for it. So we can set it automatically. Of course, we're trying to make your life easier and automate some things. You can also have it to manual if we'd like. We will set superseding versions. You can keep up to 8 versions, but if you have 8 versions of an app, I'll probably ask what's wrong with you inside of your Intune set. 3, 2, 1 at least. We keep superseding so that we can always, when it does scan the repository, we can see and update that version. We can uninstall the previous version when upgrading. We can also allow uninstallation from there. There's a few other things that we can add in there as well. All customizable for you. Script templates, it's always going to use our standard default. Of course, we do have customized scripts that I'll get into. I know a lot of people have, had their own scripts. You can just drop them right in here and use the ones you're already using. We have one for deferrals. We have another one for, titles on and off. You can change all of the different things in there. I'll get into that in a minute, but I'll use the standard one and I will create the flow. So I'm grabbing FileZilla. I found it as a discovered application on there. And now I want to get it patched to make sure it's secure. I go through and set up the same a wave flow as I did before, and it would be patched, ready to go. Again, the new version of FileZilla that comes out, it's going to follow that wave flow and keep it updated. So that big to-do list you have when you scan this, this tenant and you see all these things, you know, ours is pretty clean, but you'll see some of them have 100 versions across 25 different devices. And it can be an absolute mess, getting them patched and updated to that baseline level. And then also keeping them updated to the lifecycle is a nice touch. It can save you time. But really, just a question.
Well, I was just wondering, you may get there. Are you going to show us what all of this work looks like in Intune?
We don't, no, he doesn't have access to Intune.
At the end of the day, I'm a sales guy, so they're never going to give me.
Because I've got, I've seen a number of these tools, obviously, Patch My PC's been around for a long time. The problem with patching in Intune is that the more applications and updates you put in there, the slower autopilot gets unless you micromanage how the groups are deployed. And that's, right, I love the way this interface looks. It's obviously much more modern than some of the other ones that have sync applications and so forth on the back end. But my concern is that it's still that same mess. And if, you're dynamically spinning up and deleting these security groups, that's great, but still, what does that look like from a back-end administrator?
It's gonna look like just like it is, whatever.
Well, sure, but you said like with the waves, you create a wave.
Mhm.
My assumption is that you're creating a group to go along with that wave, right? And you're going and finding these machines and you're adding them, right? So,
Or your existing groups that you have through Entra already.
okay, sure. And then from a patching perspective,
Mhm.
is your system going and keeping those groups updated with the devices that actually need those apps, right? So an example would be, perfect example would be Google Chrome, because it is my nemesis,
Mhm.
right? People, it's a user-based install. People can just get it.
Yep.
It's a pain in the rear to block. I'm not going to worry about it that much, but I still need to get it patched, right? So the only way for me to make sure that all of the Google Chromes in the company get patched for today is to deploy the update to all devices,
Mhm.
right? But now, when I go to do autopilot, that's an app, right? So it has to go through autopilot. Oh, this update is an application that's required for this computer. It's got to go through that process. It's got to scan for, whether or not it's applicable, and that takes time. So if you as soon as you get to, even a small number, 15 or 20 of these updates in there, as well as all the other stuff, your autopilot process could take 45, 50, 60 minutes. And now, unless you're letting that timer go a long time, you're hitting the timeout. And then it's a terrible user experience for those people. So that's kind of why I'm wondering how if you guys have solved that issue, because that at scale is one of the most annoying things with Microsoft forces third parties to enable patching in Intune. Unlike with configuration manager, shove it WSUS, extend the catalog, and you're good to go.
Figma was nice, huh?
It doesn't work that way, right? So, yeah. So I'd be interested to see a little bit more of that if you guys have that.
I don't know if this idea would work or how much customization you would have to do to make it work, but you could potentially do something where you make a security group that you're advertising all those against, and then have it pull in all your computers, but only if the enrollment date is at least 48 hours ago or something, or 24 hours ago. And if you're doing that, you might even be able to bump it up higher. Like you might get it to like 4 or 6 hours. Like you'd have to play around with it.
Sure, and there's lots of solutions, and we have some solutions that we home baked. That's why my question was, is that because for small shops, right? Especially small shops who still allow administrator access on their workstations, right? Which is where this really comes into play. They don't have time or maybe the knowledge or the level of, people who know how to do that stuff. That's why I was kind of wondering if you guys take care of that and say, oh, well, we found this app. On this computer, I have access to the tenant. I'm just going to move that computer and put it in this group for you.
Oh, no, we don't do, no,
So,
we don't manage the devices like that, right?
okay.
We're just apps, that's all we do.
Well, okay. So, yeah, okay. So when you do your waves, how are you deploying it, right? Because based on the demo, you go and I'm going to deploy this wave. And you name it. Did I miss it where you had to select
Using all your groups in Intune ID, right?
Okay. So you're not,
Whatever your structure is there, what he did earlier, he was just naming some of these waves. You can name them whatever you want, but he was actually selecting.
okay, he was just going, I'm in multitasking, so I missed that
Right.
grab the group. And then,
Yeah.
so how would that work for the, you had the list where the radar is found, and you click on the, right, you said, you showed that section where you said, hey, I'm gonna deploy it to this, but these other devices, I found air on it.
Yeah.
When you click that button to say also included, how does it also include those? Does that question make sense?
Yeah.
Not for me, but. And if you could add, like, what are the level of kind of following up? He's kind of looking for the whole sausage making, how it's happening. Like, what are the permissions he would be required? Because I saw 3 layers. One is you would be able to add the tenant. I would think any permission on that. You would be able to, your Robopack radar, it will be able to identify the devices or machine. And you would need access to the Intune environment because you are deploying things. And then next one is Intune might have access to the devices. So those level of permissions, I think that would
Can we
clarify.
have our security
Yeah.
information, right?
Yeah, right.
Can you see it? Yep, no, it's too small.
Well, got it on my screen. I'm blind.
We can also go to support and we can drop this in the chat as well. But there is, under our website, it has an entire list of all the permissions for that you'll need to accept it. In there, let me see.
Maybe just pull up the tab.
There's supposed to be the whole graph API list, but
Easy question, the follow-up question. You guys have a Mac. Are you guys adding Mac OS support?
We're working on it. It's right here.
so, yes. Everything I'm showing you here today is for Windows only at this point.
Yeah.
We have Mac OS coming. It's going to function the exact same way. We'll have an instant app repository of over 4,000 applications for Mac OS. The main developer right now decided to take 3 weeks and go to Thailand, so it's been a little bit
The
pushed.
challenges of a small, I get it.
So it's been a little pushback, but it is coming. It's
But
awesome.
speaking of that,
They asked the same question in chat.
oh, good. Speaking of that, we actually, just this week, I do an office hours with Dean Ellaby, who does a lot of videos and stuff like that, every other Wednesday, I think, every 2 weeks. And we are looking for customers. It's ready to go, but we just need more data and testers, because we only have so many Macs, in our organization. So if anyone's interested and wants to get on board and test out the Mac OS side, just let us know. We'll get you connected to that.
And how about servers? You mentioned Intune and Windows Server, no?
Yeah. So, instant app repository, 44,000 apps that we can use and get, updated. Scanning our Intune tenant to keep, really that to-do list. Not many companies are starting in a greenfield environment. It's more brownfield. So that's where you can check your, where the things are at. And then really the heart and soul is our convert package button. We're trying to get people away from spending countless time and energy on staging basic applications. We want to make it simple. So for us, as I mentioned, EXEs, MSIs, MSIX, PowerShells, scripts, whatever, drop them in here. We can do it at a 95% success rate as long as we have a few things. So as long as we can find what the executable installer is, and we are provided the silent switch, whether you provide it or we find it, we'll be able to do the rest for you. We have no uninstall command. We have no detection rule. However, here's the little analysis button that Ronnie took all that time building. What we're going to do right now is I'm going to take this EXE and I'm going to get it packaged. What is happening right now is I'm taking this EXE, I'm direct injecting it into the VM. It's going to do a real life install, a real life uninstall. It's going to find the detection method. It's going to do our 26-step smoke test screening on the application, make sure that no viruses, antivirus, malware, scans. Checks the hash values, checks everything that you'd want on the back end. But right now it's going to uninstall. And so in just a matter of 30 seconds to a minute, I'm going to take an EXE and it is wrapped, packaged, and good to go. We're right back where we started, where we can do a quick import to Intune. And I can also set up a Robopack flow for this to keep it updated. So when you're making those custom applications, here you are. But a better look at it is we'll take a look at the app documentation. There's that uninstall command that we found. And we went ahead and found the detection rule and applied it in there.
Remember, those things were not there before, right? Like the uninstall command and the detection stuff, and that's what it did with the analysis.
And during our uninstall, we left 0 files behind, so it was rather successful. It's a, a small demo one, but really we want people to get, just drop things in and test it. We have a 95% success rate when we can find those things. And we'll also show you where all of the files that it touched. We'll show you the leftover files that were there, done for this one. We'll show you where the app registry, where Greenshot touched the registry. But better yet, if you have security asking for all these things, just download a PDF report. We can download a PDF report for any custom app that you make or any of our 44,000 applications. This one's 7 pages, shows all the file. Nobody's really reading this, but you can hand it off to the team. The one for Adobe right now is like 511 pages. It's absolutely ridiculous, but we'll spin this for any application, whether you package it or we've done it already for you. So nice little feature in here for security. And then, of course, we can go in, set up our flow, and then get it imported into Intune. We can also go back and grab the source files, the Intune win or the PS80T script at any time. Not always the easiest thing to find once you're in Intune. But I know when you are making these custom applications, a lot of times you've done a lot of the custom settings and things like that. We don't want you doing it every time. We want you to do it once and it'll apply for the rest of it. So what that looks like is our custom settings button is over here. You can also do it right in the app. If I wanted to set some custom settings for Greenshot, I can target a specific version I'd like, or just leave it, for the actual app there. You can go in here and you can start playing around. You can do it for all tenants. You can do it for, tenant specific, however you want to do it. But essentially you can go in, have any different script templates, signing certificates, apps to close. You can always add parameters or change the install command, change the uninstall command, add any files. You can mess around with the PowerShell, whether it's post-install, pre-install, whatever you'd like. If you set up the custom app settings, it'll nicely save in here. So every time we have a version of Adobe that goes out, somebody added a file in there. So it will grab this. It will see that it's going through the deployment waves and it will apply it automatically. So set it once and you are good to go from there. As I mentioned earlier, we also have different script templates. Of course, we have your standard PS80T 4.1 right now. We have one set for deferrals. You can always just duplicate it. You can go in there and you can upload your own scripts that you're currently working with. But if I edit this one, you can take a look at a deeper dive. You can set deferrals. You can, it's all custom text, add in whatever you like. You can put in your company icon, all sorts of things, and then have this built right in there using any scripts that you'd like. We have API integration. We have a really nice API that you can pull a lot of this out if you'd like and source it anywhere from there. We can assign templates for things. We have certificates. We have, RBAC built right in. Of course, we prefer that you do it through Entra, but if you'd like, you can do right in here, give permissions to people on your teams. And that's really Robopack in a nutshell. Is there any questions of some of the features that I showed? Right.
Yes, good.
Let's go.
2 questions.
Let's go.
The first one to applications. I assume that if I had an MSP file, right, to configure my MSIs and all that other crap, I assume that I would upload that as a file and then reference it in your custom command line option. Is that the best way to
Yes.
handle that?
Yeah. Go in, just go up here, add a custom setting, find whatever the application that you're targeting is, and then just go in.
That's all right.
Drop it right in there. Yeah, you can drop a file.
The other question is from, you mentioned the access, right, for the rest of the team. Is that Entra SSO or is that?
Yep. Yep. Do it all through there.
See, I can ask easy questions.
But as far as a deep dive in the back end that you were mentioning, I'm happy to loop in Ronnie, the founder who's created this whole thing. He will open up the Intune tenant, show you how everything's connected. He's obviously the brainchild that's created the whole thing. I'm just the guy up here talking about it.
You want to go to the land page?
Let's check go here first. So we also have a thing, Robopack University. Robopack is pretty simple to use once you get in there and understand it. But we also have broken down videos with Microsoft MVP Dean Ellerby. He's done a bunch of these videos just breaking down what I did today, talking about the instant apps, the automatic patching, the packaging, the radar scans, so on and so forth. Harjit is doing office hours live. What is it, every other week?
Every other, yeah, every other Wednesday, yeah.
It's him and Dean in there clowning around a lot of the times, talking about not just Robopack, but Intune in general, having an open forum discussion with a lot of people in the community. That's been really nice. We also have on-demand training and onboarding for Robopack itself. Simple sign up. There's some videos in here. They're just a few minutes long. Help you go through the whole thing. But we also have training for MSPs. We have Intune training, config man training, just some other tools and help for people that are maybe newer on your team or stuff. Our roadmap, if we take a look at it really quick, as we mentioned before, Mac OS is our big push. That is the big thing that we're pushing for Q1. We're also looking at adding what they're calling a radar terminator. I hope that name doesn't stay because I think it's terrible. But the terminator is essentially going to live inside of the Robopack radar here. And when you scan your tenant, there'll be a button to the side of the patch flow that'll just be uninstalled. So that bloatware from the discovered apps, from the people who are uploading the random applications that you found. So let's take an example like yeah, if somebody did that, there'll be a little thing right here. You can just click uninstall and it'll uninstall the groups that you had set up the same way that you would with a patch flow. So you immediately pull those right off there.
And just to kind of full circle tie things into what I was talking about earlier, I don't know how many apps people have in their tenant, hundreds to potentially thousands. I'm talking to a customer, it was like 1,000 apps, crazy number of apps. These apps get published in Intune, they're automatically added to the DO pipeline. So DO and connected cache, this happens automatically. You don't have to do anything unique or special for that. It's just using Intune app packaging under the covers. That kicks in with the publishing pipeline, gets registered, done.
Yeah.
Cool question. Sure. Can you also handle user context applications that might not be like fully for the machine, but have to be installed in the user context? Can you also handle that or no?
Give me an example.
And so we've got some custom applications that have to be installed under a specific user to be able to do it. I'm not sure if you guys can handle on packaging that.
Sure.
That I'm not sure either. That's a really good question.
We can find out.
I'll ask. I'll get an answer for you before the end of the day.
Two other questions as well. I know that there's the automatic SCCM pull in and some of that. If you've already got stuff that uses PSADT, how is that handled? Because I know that you're wrapping it in PSADT again. Do you have to strip out what's already in there to be able to import it properly?
No. Gotcha. Yeah, you can import it, and then you can always go in there and add the script directly for it as well.
And then the templates as well, as far as the last question goes. If you've got a bunch of custom integrations and stuff like that for we've got a lot of different use cases for PSADT right now. If I were to go in there and add a script template and then continuously add onto it, but let's say I packaged something, a month ago with a certain version of a script template, and I go to update that script template that's got all the custom functions and the way that we're installing it and stuff like that. Is it going to repackage that application and push it out to Intune to be able to use that new script template, or is it going to be only the one that it was using? So let's say I had version 1 of the script template and then I upgraded to version 1.1 on the new one. Does that automatically update or does that have to get repackaged?
It will when it scans. So every 4 hours we'll scan inside of Robopack. And so when it sees that, if you've added it in there, it will immediately apply it, when it does the scan inside of it. Cool. Yes.
And then I assume this is cloud only, if there's no on-prem version?
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yep. Cloud only. And then we do have the tool built right in. We have a config man import tool, really neat. So if you are still on SCCM, you can just download the tool. You just enter your information here. You enter the MECM information, and then you can just grab your application and pull them right into Robopack. And we can grab it right from the SCCM server, or right from SCCM straight into Robopack and get them into Intune.
From the chat, there's somebody's asking, looks like Drew is asking for the Mac support, is it going to be Intune only or are you going to support Jamf?
Intune only.
Okay. And then there are 2 people in there that would like to volunteer for your Mac.
Awesome. Just throw your hand up in the chat or whatever, and I will check this out after, and I will message Dean and get them added on. And anybody else that would like to do so, we are happy to get that set up. If you'd like to, as you mentioned before, have it for your own test tenant at home, we're happy to get you an account set up. It's no problem. Anybody that wants it tested, we're more than happy. We have a lot of people that use it, just for certain spots, for the whole thing. So yeah. And the last thing I have is our recent partnership with Microsoft itself. Of course, Microsoft wants to get people off of on-prem and into Intune in the cloud. We have partnered with Microsoft to have what we call a safe Robopack Safe Passage Program, the mouthful that they created. It's essentially, we will give you 2 months of Robopack for free. So you get 2 months of free licensing. You're able to then use this and you can take a CSV file, import it right in here using the radar. We can scan that, grab the applications that way. We can use our config import tool. But essentially it just gives you Robopack for free for 2 months if you're moving from on-prem to cloud.
And even once you're imported and you're using it and you got all your applications into Intune and you're like, all right, I'm done. I don't want to use Robot. That's fine. Like, seriously, which is pretty amazing.
And then, of course, we have, customer support anytime. And yeah, that's what I've got for the Robopack.
And we just launched a new feedback portal in the learn.robopack.com site. So if you have like back in the day, we used to have what user voice or something like that. So it's very similar to that. So if there's some feature that you want or something that's not working right or something like that.
Or if you're continuously packaging the same applications that you're customly making, just reach out. I mean, we're adding apps all the time. It's really not that big a deal usually to just throw it in there. So do you have another question?
The question that's probably on everybody's mind is what does it cost?
Per device basis, how many endpoints?
Well, let's just for a nice even number, say 1,000.
$3,500 for the year.
Okay.
About $3.50. As you move up, it scales down from there. Of course, if you're looking at 50, 100,000 endpoints, that's a different discussion. 1,000 is usually about
Why I just picked a
680.
relatively low number.
And that's based off of the amount of devices you've got into it or intro.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, it's gonna read your device count there, and then we get that from you, and we will have it licensed, ready to go. It's Windows, of course, I said right now, and then Mac will be coming here shortly for, and so that would be a separate discussion. But again, anybody that's wanting to help us out on that, that would always be a big help for me.
We got 2 people online, so we'll grab those.
And I assume since it's cloud-based as well, if you have like any custom applications that you add into it, some of them that are secured into your own Robopack tenant, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. We'll be here, so just reach out. Our contacts, and yeah. Great.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
All right, thanks again, Robopack. Appreciate you guys sponsoring today, sponsoring lunch and all those good things. Lunch should be here about 12:20, so we got a little bit of time. We can hang out here for a couple minutes, see if there's any other chat, questions, comments. We'll of course leave the chat on and we'll just go on mute here in a little bit, but, any
I
comments?
have a quick question regarding the apps that you are managing. You said that new versions would be coming.
Mhm.
Do you have any SLA Adobe Connect, like for example, if GA today? So how long would you take to get that updated in your?
Every 30 minutes.
We scan the repository every 30 minutes, so our promise to you is within 35 minutes, we scan the new application coming out, we're pushing it.
And what do you mean by the repository? What repository?
So from the instant app repository there, so the ones that were in there, we're scanning Winget and Microsoft Store, a few other open sources every 30 minutes to see if there are new updates that are put in there. If we see them, we'll grab them. A lot of the times, that's when you'll run into issues detected, because it'll say that maybe not all of the entire package is there yet.
Yeah.
They put part of it in and we scan, and we will immediately block it. We'll never pull anything in that has anything that, any issues. And then when we rescan 30 minutes later, we'll have everything in there. Oh, okay, we'll grab the package.
Okay, I saw that you mentioned that you do install to validate on your virtual environment. Do you publish any stability ranking, like for example, any new brand new application, it might have few issues or whatever. Just giving little bit extra information on the users.
Yes, the guys on the back end.
Okay, the guys, when they're initially testing it, they do have some backend. We don't,
It's not public, but we're always happy to share what was going on with it.
yeah, and we're starting.